now they wonder what's gonna happen next. I bought a 40 for the ride, I'm swerving lanes when I'm drunk as shit. I hit them up when I'm drinking so we can talk about it. I tell them how I feel and they forget about me. Like they know how it feels to be forgot about, forget about my past. It's me, SimbaTv. Bang! What is good, YouTube fam? It's your boy Simba coming back here again with another reaction video for you guys today. For today's reaction video, we got top 10 real people that are too evil for prison. So let's jump up in it.
From prisoners spending the rest of their lives in solitary confinement to others who managed to escape prison multiple times. Let's look at this and more as we talk about some notorious criminals that are far too evil for prison. Starting off this countdown, we have NIKOLAI ZHUMAGALIEV. This guy is so evil that it's hard to believe what he did was real. So NIKOLAI is a Soviet serial killer who took the lives of at least 10 people in the 1980s. He would target women and would often axe them to death, after which he would eat them. In fact, he was given the name Metal Fang because he had false teeth made from white metal. That way, it was easier for him to be able to eat into the flesh. In the late 1980s, he was caught after having one of his friends over, and the friend found a human head and intestines inside of his fridge.
Aw, hell nah, bro. What would you do in that situation? What would you do? If you was like, yeah, man, I'm going to hang out with my boy, you know. I haven't seen him for a little bit or whatever the case was. You go over, you like, hey, man, can I get some drink? And he like, yeah, man, it's in the fridge. Knowing damn well this nigga got a head and some intestines in the fridge. He like, yeah, man, go get you a drink, man. And you just look in the fridge and you just see another person's head looking back at you like, nigga, you want some drink? Like, what would you do? I'm shitting myself and then running away. Like, I'm leaving the state. Like, I'm notifying the police. I'm snitching. Don't know, bro. What?
After that, he was arrested and tried, but declared insane. In 1989, when he was transported to another facility, NIKOLAI actually escaped and was on the run for 2 years. Thankfully, he was caught and re-institutionalized. But in December of 2016, he escaped again. But
how you escape in modern day? Like, I can see probably like back in the day, because like the prisons and shit wasn't really like secure, that secure, at least in my opinion. But in modern day, how do you escape? Like, what? Come on, we gotta do better.
Officials refused to confirm the claim. Either way, be careful around this guy, like he might try and escape for the 3rd time.
Right.
Moving on to number 9, we have ALLAN LEGERE. ALLAN LEGERE is a Canadian serial killer who on June 21st of 1986 entered a convenience store in Black River Bridge, New Brunswick with 2 other accomplices and robbed the joint. While doing so, they beat the store owner to death, but they were later caught and arrested. He was given a life sentence and sent to prison. However, in 1989, he managed to escape and was on the run for 7 months. During this time, he killed 4 more innocent people.
Wow.
He also committed arson and a list of other crimes as well. Eventually, he was recaptured and is now spending the rest of his life in Canada's maximum security special handling unit. Moving on to number 8, we have RODNEY HALBOWER. Ever since Rodney was young, he has been committing crimes. It started when he was only 16 years old. During his younger years, he was arrested and released on parole a number of times. But when released, he would commit more crimes, like theft. In 1975, Rodney was released on bail after taking advantage of a Las Vegas blackjack dealer. But while on bail, he took advantage of and killed 6 other women and received a life sentence. However, in 1977, he actually escaped jail and kidnapped his own daughter. Shortly after, he was recaptured, only to escape again in 1986.
Bro, how is these people escaping like this? And look at this dude. He looks sick. He look crazy. We gotta do better. How is there's no way people should just be escaping like that. I don't care when it was. There's no reason people should be escaping prison like that, bruh.
While on the run, he stabbed and injured another woman. Thankfully, once again, he was recaptured. Wouldn't you think after the first time they would keep a closer eye on him? I guess not. In our 7th spot, we have Thomas Silverstein. Now, this dude is said to be one of the most dangerous prisoners of all time, and the most violent prisoner in America. He was first jailed in 1978 for armed robbery. While in jail, he killed a prison officer and 2 inmates. He also was the leader for the Aryan Brotherhood prison gang for quite some time. This prison gang is the largest and deadliest prison gang in the US, with an estimated 20,000 members inside the prison and on the streets. Because of how many people he killed and injured in prison, Silverstein got transferred to a federal prison in Atlanta. There, he was confined in a 6 by 7 foot cell. He was under 24-hour surveillance. In fact, the lights in his cell were never turned off so that they could always watch him. Silverstein eventually died in prison at the age of 67. In our 6th spot today, we have Victor Figueroa. On February 6, 1997, Victor Figueroa managed to escape Maroa Shock Incarceration Facility in Mineville, New York. Victor had been serving a 1 to 4 year sentence for drug possession, but decided to take his chances and flee.
Wait a minute. How is he evil? Drug possession? I mean, what type of drugs was he dealing? You know? But I don't see how that can be evil. I mean, she hasn't finished yet, but I don't see how drug possession can be evil. Like, cause if he's in prison for weed, for like selling weed, that's bullshit. You know, he shouldn't be on the list, but I'm gonna let her finish, but let's see.
Authorities noticed that he was missing. They searched the area, but all the leads ran cold. He has not been seen or heard from since. In fact, he's the only New York State prison inmate to escape and never be found. Either he's still out there or he died while trying to escape. Either way, it's a bit scary thinking that he could potentially still be out there. We are now at our 5th and halfway mark with James Eddie Diggs. To the public, James Eddie Diggs seemed like a top-notch citizen. He seemed to be a great family man with a happy wife and 2 young sons. However, in the morning of May 26, 1949, he shot and killed his wife and kids before disappearing forever. Police did manage to find him a week later, but he managed to escape the officer by shooting him in the face and killing him. He since fled into the woods and hasn't been caught since. In fact, he was one of the FBI's 10 most wanted fugitives for the longest time, but he was eventually removed from the list in 1961 and is said to be dead by now. In our 4th spot, we have Robert Maudsley. Robert Maudsley is considered Britain's most dangerous prisoner, and you're about to find out why. In 1974, Maudsley was arrested for taking advantage of young individuals. But during his trial, he was found unfit and was sent to Broadmoor Hospital instead of a prison. While there, Maudsley and another patient locked themselves in a cell with another patient and held him hostage. While there, they tortured him to death over a period of 9 hours. After this incident, he was convicted of manslaughter and was sent to Wakefield Prison. And there, he killed 3 inmates, after which he got placed in solitary confinement and spends his life in a glass cell underneath Wakefield Jail. In our 3rd spot, we have George Edward Wright. In 1962, George Edward Wright was convicted for murder and was sentenced to up to 30 years in prison. Wright and 3 other men went on a spree of armed robbery, one in which they shot a man and took off with his money, which was only $70, so was it really worth it? Anyways, they were caught and put into jail. But then in 1970, Wright managed to escape from a prison in New Jersey. He was caught and locked up once again, only to escape once more in 1972. This time, he made sure he was never going to be caught again. So he came up with a plan. This plan involved hijacking a Delta Airlines flight and collecting ransom for the release of the passengers. Upon doing so, they flew the plane to Portugal. In 2011, the police caught up with him in Portugal, but since Portugal has no extradition treaty with the United States, Wright was released. He remains a fugitive to this day. Coming in at number 2, we have Eric
That's
Rudolph.
crazy,
In
bro.
1996, Eric Rudolph bombed Atlanta's Centennial Olympic Park during the Summer Games. As a result, 2 individuals were killed and over 100 were injured. But that was just the beginning of his deadly bombing spree. He pulled off 3 more bombings, injuring hundreds more. For 5 years, the police were on a hunt for Eric. At one point, he was one of the top 10 fugitives on the FBI's list. It wasn't until 2003 that Eric got arrested. Turns out that he was hiding in the mountains for 5 years. Being a skilled outdoorsman, this helped him greatly. When he was caught, he pled guilty to all 4 bombings and was given 4 life sentences without the possibility of parole. He's now spending the rest of his life in a super prison in Florence, Colorado. And in our number 1 spot today, we have Santiago Medeiros. In 2010, Santiago fired into a random person's car, car because one of the passengers was wearing the wrong color jacket. The victim had no ties to any gang. He was just an innocent person riding in his sister's car. He was severely injured and his sister was unfortunately killed. A couple weeks later, Santiago and some of his friends were robbing a car, and when a group of men tried to stop them, he shot at them as well. He killed a random person that was just at the wrong place at the wrong time. From there, he was on the run for about a decade. He was finally caught in 2020 in Mexico. All right, guys, that's all for today's.
You just shooting random people. These lists, man, like, they make my blood boil sometimes, you know? Like, because it's just like, people are so sick, man. People are really just so sick. Like, they're not human. Like, they're not human. And the fact that a lot of these people were getting away, like, escaping prison pisses me off. Like, what? Come on, bro. If you guys like this video, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button for me. Thank you guys for commenting, sharing, and subscribing. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.